Well, you don't want to blow the mic out? I guess so.
Pepper,
Hi,
no!
Pepper. Hi, Onni.
No,
Hi.
Pepper.
Okay.
We're trying to be cool.
I'm just gonna go get a pillow for her.
Pepper.
Clearly, she cannot keep to herself.
Juliet.
Is that good? Pepper, do you have anything to say? Okay, let's get started.
No, I don't like it. I like my right hand. But I wanted to scroll with my right hand, so I'll do it here. Okay, ready?
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to LitLunch, where we discuss literature in a lit way. Today we're going to be focusing on the tragic story of Romeo and Juliet that they had us read because they wanted us to experience pain. They wanted to torture us, and now we are here to torture you. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Subjecting yourself to this torture.
No torture.
Wait, we gotta introduce our special guests.
Oh.
Today we have special guests.
Pepper?
Would you like to comment?
Okay, well, Pepper does not want to comment.
Thank you so much. She'll be with us throughout the episode.
So...
And believe it or not, 1 like equals 1 pet for Pepper.
Don't you want to pet Pepper?
Welcome to the prologue,
where we discuss and start the story of Romeo and Juliet.
Indeed.
This is a highly odd story with a 13-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy falling in love and then dying.
Don't forget the marriage part. There's marriage too, if you're interested in that now.
Yes. Some basics. You gotta know these things. There's 2 houses set in Verona.
Verona, Italia.
Exactly. The Capulets and the Montagues. Montag. They hate each other. Like, legit hate.
I hate your guts. I hate your family. I hate your dog. I hate what you stand for. I wouldn't care if you got run over by a train tonight. I wouldn't care. I would just go on living my life.
Let's start with Act 1. We will be giving you a summary of each act in an effort to condense the story as much as possible and keep it short and sweet.
Yes, so you can pass your English test.
And please don't cheat. That's bad. It will help you study.
If you didn't read, at least you're watching.
At least you're getting legit things. The 2 houses, remember, the Capulets and the Montagues. A fight breaks out between them. Because they hate each other.
I hate your...
There's a ruler of Verona. His name is Prince...
Culos.
Exactly. He breaks up this fight that happens in the middle of the street. And he threatens both houses with death should they ever fight again. Death is bad.
Yes, I agree. He's going through some tough times.
He's going through it.
He's
going through it.
Yeah. Like, his playlist is full of Sabrina Carpenter.
No.
Does Sabrina Carpenter she does love songs? She does breakup songs. No.
Lefe.
His playlist is full of Lefe.
His cousin rolls up into the story. His name is
Benvolio.
And he's like, why are you so upset, buddy? And he learns the cause of his sadness is forbidden love. Gasp.
Okay, scene 2. We're with the Capulet. That's Juliet's family. So they're talking, as families do.
Hopefully
you talk to your family. And his dad kind of mentions Count Paris, the prince's relative, guy, I don't know, they're like related, I think.
They're somehow related, okay? Just
like,
you need to know they're related.
He kind of wants to marry you, Juliet. So
Let's go.
let's marry you, my 13-year-old daughter who has probably never had experience with a relationship before. Let's do that. That would be good for you.
Yeah.
Hun. We're so proud of you.
Yeah.
They cannot read the lists.
Of,
At all.
of names to go out for invitations.
Yeah, so the servant comes across Romeo and Benvolio, and she's like, or they're like, come help me with this. I need some help.
Can you read this to me and do it and everything?
Yeah, and they're like, sure, why not? But that's when Romeo finds out his crush. Ooh. Rosaline. Or I guess Rosaline. Or no, Rosaline.
We'll call her Rosaline.
Rosaline
has been invited to this crazy party.
and
they're like-
party.
And they're like, let's go crash this party.
Scene. Okay. Scene 3. Okay, so Romeo and Benvolio get their culos at the party, and the new friend is introduced, Mercutio. Or Mercutio? Mercutio? Mercutio, so it's Mercutio, Romeo, and Benvolio. They're besties. They're hanging out the whole story. It's half a masquerade party. The only people participating in the masquerade are Romeo, Benvolio, and Mercutio.
Romeo is all anxious at this party because of this weird dream he had. Mercutio, he's like, I'm going to give you a speech about a dream-giving queen of fairies.
That did not help calm his nerves at all.
No, nothing. That was not important, really. But he does it anyway. He's just like, I'm gonna tell you this whole
He
story.
tried his best, and we're proud of him for that.
Scene 5.
Scene 5. Scene 5. Romeo, Mercutio, and Benvolio are accepted into the party. They're watching them dance, and suddenly, Romeo's eye catches on probably the only minor there, besides himself and his friends. Juliet. She's just dancing.
She's killing it. She's on the dance floor. She's dancing. She's having a nice time.
Yeah, she's.
And Romeo's like, oh my gosh, I need to have her.
That's when we get introduced to Tybalt. He's like Juliet's cousin or something. So Tybalt hears Romeo kind of investigating about Juliet to some other guests, and he recognizes Romeo's voice.
And he's like, oh my gosh, why are you here, buddy?
Why?
No, you don't need to be here. You're intruding into my house. This is not your house. You have a grudge. Romeo later actually meets Juliet at the party, and he's like, oh my gosh, wow, you're so lovely. And Juliet's like, and Juliet is like, oh my gosh, I love you, bro. And Romeo's like, oh my gosh, I love you too. And they're in love.
Basically, Romeo and Juliet spend a minute of their time together, and then they decide that they want to spend all of their time together. Or not, because you're probably watching this video because you didn't read the book, and now it's 2 a.m. and you're panicking for your test, but not really, because getting bad grades is cool for some reason.
Touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight, for never saw true beauty till this night.
And thank you to our special guest for editing the paper just now. I don't know if you saw that, but she's actually fixing some mistakes that we made. So just special thank you to her again for the editing.
Act 2. Act 2 starts with a chorus. It's a sonnet. A sonnet. A sonnet?
Sonnet?
Sonnet.
Sonnets.
A sonnet. It starts with a chorus. The chorus is a sonnet. It's a type of poem. A poem. Scene 1 of Act 2.
Romeo, our guy, is head over heels. He's in. He went from depressed and now he's in the most romantic relationship of his life. So that leads us to the iconic iconic balcony scene where he ends up scaling the wall to go into the okay,
That's weird.
he ends up scaling the wall to get into the capitula garden.
And after he gets in the garden, he scales up the wall even some more to get to Juliet's balcony.
Scene 2, perhaps? Juliet has her own monologue where she's just expressing her love for Romeo out loud.
She's not talking to Romeo at this time. Romeo's still in the garden at this point. And Juliet's just yapping to who knows who.
Anyway, our couple decides to skip all the steps. All the steps. There's no dating. There's no engagement process. There's no planning. They just want to get married. Scene 3.
Romeo is quite determined to marry Juliet. He is trying his best, okay, to make this happen. He is like, hey, I'm gonna go up to this guy. His name is Friar Lawrence. Friar Lawrence is not a relative. He's just some random guy that Romeo must look up to. He's like a mentor.
Oh yeah, like a random monk. The friar is honestly quite stupid. He thinks this marriage is going to stop the blood feud between the Montagues and Capitulates, which honestly is probably the dumbest thing a monk has ever done.
I would expect higher education, but no, this guy is not.
Besides the haircut, that's probably the dumbest thing.
The friar's like, totally, I'll marry you, because this is gonna help end your feud between the fam. Please. The families. Scene 4.
Scene 4. Mercutio and Benvolio. They meet up with Romeo again, and Romeo is just ecstatic.
Of Juliet, like her nanny. Romeo's like, oh my gosh, I have a message for Juliet. And it's like, quote, meet me at Friar Lawrence's cell this afternoon, and we will there be married.
So Juliet is back at her house waiting for her nurse to return.
Scene 5.
Scene 5, by the way. It's scene 5, everybody.
We're cruising.
Cue the sirens. She's getting impatient. You know, she's got to wait for nurse to go all the way down to town square and back. And that takes a long
Juliet
time.
Needs to learn some patience. She is,
as a 13-year-old, she needs to learn some patience. Nurse is like, yo, if you want to marry the kid, you gotta go to Friar Lawrence's cell tomorrow. Or not tomorrow even. That afternoon. That very afternoon.
Scene 6. And Juliet rolls up to Friar Lawrence's cell. And she's over the moon. Over the moon for this marriage. They get married. Act
Water break?
Yes, please.
Can't have crusty lips on the internet. Can't have crusty lips on the internet.
Like Act 3, Scene 1. Mercutio and Benvolio are like, let's go. They run into Tybalt. Remember, he's the relative to the Capitulates. That's all you need to know about him. He's not that important. I mean, I guess he's important. He's just not that cool. Romeo refuses to fight, if you cannot tell. Mercutio is like, oh my gosh, I will fight you.
I volunteer as tribute. Let me fight Tybalt. Mercutio is fatally wounded. Fatally wounded by Tybalt. Which, I mean, that's... So later he dies because, as you just heard, he got fatally wounded in the duel.
Romeo avenges Mercutio's death. He fatally wounds Tybalt in a second duel. Duel Part 2. And the prince arrives on scene. And he's like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna... Benvolio. He tries to persuade the prince. Who's a prince? And Benvolio's the mother. He's just like...
Oh my gosh.
He's just there. To excuse Romeo's killing of Tybalt. Because it was a kill for a kill sort of issue. And the prince is like, I'm not gonna do any of these. I'm just gonna banish Romeo from Verona.
Leads us to scene 2
Of Act
whatever act this is.
3. Oh my God. The nurse rolls up into the scene and she's like, I am going to bring Romeo to Juliet. To you, Juliet, that night. Tonight. I am going to bring Romeo to you to make you happy and stop feeling so much grief. And Juliet's like, yay.
Scene 3. Scene 3, Friar Lawrence tells Romeo, you're actually not going to be put to death. Congratulations, you're going to be banished from Bertona forever. Romeo, like the nerd he is, responds that death would be favorable rather than whatever he's
Banishment.
about to do. The banishment.
From his lover, Juliet.
The nurse catches Romeo when he's about to self-quit the universe. And she tells him that Juliet's really sad that he's not going to be in Verona anymore. Friar Lawrence then says to Romeo, he can spend the night with Juliet as long as he leaves Verona forever to go to Mantua the next morning. The friar promises that Balthazar will bring Romeo news of Verona and suggests that Romeo can expect that in time, in years passing, the prince may allow him to come back to Verona. But Romeo can't wait that long.
No.
C4?
Yeah, C4. Romeo is not happy about this whole situation.
He's impatient. He's a 16-year-old who has no patience. So, in that sense, Juliet and Romeo are perfect for each other. They both have no patience for anything whatsoever. Aww. Paris comes back to the Capitulate family. He's like, when am I actually going to marry Juliet? And the Capitulate family covers for Juliet, and they're like, our daughter will marry you in 3 days.
See you in 3 days, buddy. Romeo and Juliet, don't forget, have spent their night together doing who knows what. They leave at the crack of dawn. And...
Really?
I was doing well, Pepper.
Stop it.
And almost immediately after Juliet wakes up and Romeo leaves, her mother, Juliet's mother, is like, Juliet, you've got to marry Paris. You have 3 days. Goodbye. She leaves. Or she doesn't leave, actually. Juliet is like, no, I will not marry Paris. And her father comes into the story and is like, no, he's really upset about this whole thing. And he vows to put her on the street if she does not follow his rules of marrying Paris. The nurse, after the parents leave, recommends that Juliet just forget about banished Romeo and just start and regard Paris as like a desirable suitor. I mean, he's not too bad.
Just forget about your entire love life, basically.
Juliet's like, no, I don't want that. But she does not tell the nurse that. She's just, quote, secretly outraged.
I hate your guts.
At the nurse's advice. And decides to seek Friar Lawrence's help out of all the people.
Act 4. Congratulations. You're almost there. We only have 1 act left.
Paris actually knows Friar Lawrence too. And he starts talking with Friar Lawrence about this upcoming wedding. When Juliet comes into this whole thing, she arrives at the place, at the cell. And after Paris finishes his whole conversation with Friar Lawrence, she threatens self-deletion if Friar Lawrence cannot possibly save her from marrying Paris. Friar Lawrence, he's like, okay, I have this great idea. I'm gonna give you a potion, a literal potion, that will make you appear as if you have been deleted the morning of the wedding, so you cannot be married to Paris. And then he's like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna wake up in the vault here with Romeo will be there to take you away, and you're gonna live happily ever after.
At this point, we all can guess what's gonna happen,
Gasp.
but for the integrity of the video, we're just gonna keep going. Scene 2. The capitulates are preparing for the wedding between their 13-year-old daughter and what I'm assuming is a developed adult. So Juliet comes back from Friar Lawrence's cell and pretends to be okay with the idea of getting married to a adult. The capitulates are so excited. They are bouncing off the walls. They are ecstatic, smiling from ear to ear. So excited that he moves the wedding day up to the next day and then goes to tell Paris about the new date that they're gonna have.
Scene 3. Juliet, she says, nurse, you can leave for the rest of the night. I'm good. So she's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drink this potion Friar Lawrence gave me.
Scene 4. The capitulate house is staying up all night to prepare for the wedding because her father felt the need to move it up a day. Midway through the scene, they hear Paris approaching the venue with his musicians. So Juliet's mom tells Nurse to go wake Juliet.
Scene 5. Nurse finds Juliet dead, pretty much. She's not really dead. She's using the potion that Friar Lawrence gave her. And Nurse is like distraught. She's distraught. She announces Juliet's death to the family. Juliet's parents and Paris both join the nurse in celebrating Juliet's life and being miserable. And Paris interrupts them from their whole little grief party, and he says, you should arrange Juliet's funeral now. Act 5.
Romeo's guy, his informant, Balthazar, arrives in Mantua and tells Romeo that the love of his life, Juliet, is dead. Romeo sends him to hire horses so that he can get back to Verona and see Juliet. He then buys poison so he can join Juliet in the afterlife. Scene 3, Act 5, the last one.
You made it. Congrats.
Paris goes to Juliet's tomb and is... oh no. When Romeo arrives, he says, why are you visiting my wife's tomb? And Romeo is taken aback. He's a little offended. So clearly, Romeo does what needs to be done, and he kills Paris. Romeo, he climbs in the tomb, takes a little shot of poison, and as he's dying, gives Juliet one last kiss into the afterlife. Friar Lawrence enters the tomb. Juliet wakes. She's like, oh no, is that my dead lover next to me? What is happening? Juliet then finds Romeo's dagger laying next to her and decides to also self-delete with Romeo. When the prince, the capitulates, and the Montagues arrive, Friar Lawrence tells the truth. He's like, these guys, they want to get married.
So I married them. And now they're dead. Death finally leads to an end between the feud of the Montagues and capitulates. Close the laptops on sync. Yep.
The ends. Enfin, what have we learned? Do not marry the person that you have fallen in love with at first sight. I would say typically it's a bad idea. Probably rated like based on this experience 1 out of 5.
That's being generous. I'd say 0 out of 5.
0 out of 5. Pretty much everyone ended up dead at the end.
Yeah, that's bad. The moral of the story, everybody died.
Yes. But they all died for love, so it was worth it, right?
It was not worth it. Yeah.
This video was not worth it. But you know what?
Video.
But you know what is worth it? Subscribing.
You know why that is?
Because if we get to 50 subscribers, we will sit in chairs. We will upgrade from pillows to chairs. Kat will have her own chair. Subscribe if you want to see the chairs.
And don't forget, 1 like is 1 pet. And we all know
you want it better.
So thank you so much for tuning into LitLunch, where we discuss literature in a lit way. Okay, love you, bye.